Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. All right, I have Jason Bowers, managing member of VentureX Dallas Campbell Center, here with me today. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Michael.
Glad you're here. All right, give us some background on you, and I want to talk about VentureX in Dallas, how you came to be in the VentureX family, and what you're doing with VentureX here in Dallas.
Sure, absolutely. Well, about 2 years ago, my wife and I had a discussion about kind of what our next steps were going to be as our kids were getting older, and we had some.
I'm going to move this a little closer.
Yeah,
sorry, you're good. Go ahead.
And we were thinking, kind of what's next chapter for us, and we started looking at some optional businesses, certainly different types of finances that we could put our earnings into, and we decided that maybe looking at a franchise opportunity might be an option. At the time, I was actually officing at home and had looked at some collaborative workspaces to kind of get myself out of the house and kind of in a more social environment. And in the process, I ran across a VentureX at the Dallas Entrepreneur Franchise Convention, and met with the president of VentureX, and next thing you know, we're having a discussion about where to put one.
All right, tell us about the VentureX brand, what they're doing. I'm familiar with WeWork, although I was never that enthused with them. But when I went to your location, it was just head over heels, completely different feel, and I've immediately felt at home and engaged.
Well, yeah. So VentureX, the VentureX brand is really targeting. More of if you had WeWork on one end of the spectrum and maybe a Regus executive suite on the other end, VentureX strives to kind of fall right down the middle. They want to take advantage of the benefits of the co-work space, but at the same time have professional high-end executive suites, meeting rooms, and event spaces to cater to small businesses and people that just need an office without all the extra overhead. So in our particular case, we took the VentureX model, and my wife and I thought, well, we're going to be in a building in Dallas that represents kind of the old coming together with the new, somewhat of an iconic building, I would say, for the most part. And we wanted to design it in such a way that we could take the best of VentureX and apply it to the best of Dallas. And my wife, being a interior designer, took advantage of that, and I think we've got a special place.
You do. As a matter of fact, not only special, you have a historic place, because Gianni, who introduced me to you and VentureX, actually let me know that was actually J.R. Ewing's office space, right, in the VentureX building, in the same location where you have the co-working space.
And not only that, if you watch the opening credits, you'll see the Campbell Center flash right by there. So it is kind of neat. And interestingly enough, Dallas is still a popular TV show, especially overseas. So
it is. All right, co-working space. Tell me about where you see that going in the future. Obviously, you see big things for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't invest in it like this. But how do you see that morphing as we go forward?
Well, and again, I've only been in the business for about a year and a half, and just in terms of trying to understand commercial real estate and how things are ebbing and flowing. But based on the feedback that I've seen, and certainly as you see the numbers growing in terms of the number of co-work spaces and the amount of people that are starting to use that model, it truly is a major change in the commercial real estate business. And I think a lot of people are having to starting to adapt to that. And as far as what it means, I mean, obviously the ability to secure an office in a Class A office space, or in a place of your choosing, without having to carry the overhead of a lease and triple net and all the costs that goes into it, and have the flexibility to do a month-to-month or 6-month or 12-month term, it's really kind of a hard notion to pass up.
or the hard costs up front of furnishing it.
Absolutely. And then you're also not in, if you do have growth, or if you do have maybe contraction, you're not in a situation where you're left with a lot of extra office space. And if you do need to expand, it's a very quick and easy process.
What gave you the impetus to move forward and put a audio-visual studio, the radio studio that you have in like a podcast room in there, and the green room? Where did you get the vision to include that in with the beautiful surroundings of the co-working space that you have?
Well, a lot of it had to do with just looking for additional revenue streams to add to the model. I mean, I think as the co-work and the number of locations have grown, certainly here in the Dallas area, eventually there will be price compression, if not already, in terms of renting out your offices. So the ability to add additional amenities and additional services and things that you can provide both to your members as well as people that may need those services, I think make it obviously an attractive place to go to, and it also brings additional money in. So, and then coupling that with the fact that podcasting and being able to broadcast in such a way has grown so prolifically in the last 5 years. It was an easy choice.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine who syndicated the 700 Club, and he's been around in the television industry. He says, in essence, what you have is your own TV station.
Mm-hmm.
Where with multiple channels that you can push out over this, and you're really giving the young entrepreneurs an extra level of growth process to really grow their companies. It's one thing to make a great product or have a great service, and then to be able to cohabitate with other people who are like-minded and being able to use the latest processes and technologies, but you're also giving them the ability to market themselves in the 21st, 22nd century. I want to really commend you on that. Where are you going to take the company next? What is your vision for the future?
Well, I think our near-term vision obviously is to grow our occupancy, grow our awareness, certainly help grow the awareness of VentureX as a brand and as a company. Overall, VentureX is in 30 different locations across the country. They're going international in England and Singapore, and Dallas just happens for whatever reason. Well, I think I know the reason. We all know the reason. Dallas is a growing city by leaps and bounds, and VentureX is just kind of been the epicenter for VentureX. Personally, we as you had mentioned, we've kind of taken a different approach with our design. We wanted to kind of stretch the bounds of VentureX and show that you can still have the same model, but you can start to put some strata into it in terms of different marketplaces. You have different designs, you have a different look and feel, but still retain that. And so we hope to help grow the brand that way. And in terms of our personal growth is, we want to grow within the Campbell Center. There's additional space within that building. It's a great location. Couldn't have picked a better spot. And as we grow into that, see how our amenities and services may help suit not only our space but the building. And then if we can find another great place like we found with Campbell Center, then we'll look to expand.
You've done a marvelous job. As a matter of fact, your wife has done a tremendous job decorating the place. I looked at it. I love the alcove for the library. That was a great touch. You don't find that in some of the other co-working spaces. It's kind of I just don't get the warm openness and it's got good vibes, and I think that's where people are going these days. It's not just that I have a desk and I got a door and I have internet connection, but they're also really out there looking for a vibe, a certain vibe that makes them feel productive and engaged with the people around them to be able to grow their businesses and expand their creativity. That's what I got when I went over to your place.
Well, we wanted to make it a place where people wanted to go to work, and they were proud of where they worked, and would want to bring in customers and kind of be able to share that feeling. And all of our members at one point have come up to me and said, "Hey, I really like the way this place looks and feels, and we're just so happy to be here." And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we built it with the intent to have the wide open spaces. We have 18-foot ceilings on the 20th floor, so we have ambient light flowing through. and it's just it's a great place to be from the standpoint of you feel like you've got, you're not in a cacophony, if you will. You're kind of in an open space,
Right.
but when you do need to go back and have your privacy in your office, you have that as well. So it's a good mix.
Great job. Thanks for being a guest.
Absolutely.
All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and download our new app, CEO Money, on iOS and Android. Thanks for watching.